Should we do a Ben Shapiro soon?
Yes. Speaking of fun, let's do this. Folks, we've talked about the many issues that Ben Shapiro has with things like sexuality and the idea of...
What does that even mean, wet ass?
I mean...
I won't say it.
I never would. I've never even experienced it.
As a fundamentalist religious person, sexuality is a sin to him.
It's yucky.
It's a sin. Things like fornication without it being explicitly to procreate, sinful and wrong. Anything that deviates from the most sort of, I don't know, typical or vanilla sexual relations, wrong. Marriage equality, wrong. The existence of gay people, wrong. The existence of transgender people, wrong.
Pleasure? I didn't even know her.
All of these things, highly problematic for him. But even I did not realize how deep this guy's nervousness about the human body ran. Here I give you Ben Shapiro discovering that some people go topless in Europe.
Berlin's authorities took action after a female swimmer said she was prevented from attending one of the city's pools without covering her chest in December 2022. The woman then lodged a complaint with the city ombudsman at the Senate Department for Justice, Diversity, and Anti-Discrimination. The authorities agreed that the woman had been a victim of discrimination and said all visitors to Berlin's pools, including women and those who identify as non-binary, are now permitted to show their tits. It follows a similar incident at a Berlin water park in the summer of 2021. Frenchwoman Gabrielle Lebreton sought financial compensation from the city after security guards ordered her to leave the premise when she refused to cover up her breasts. She was with her 5-year-old son when the incident happened. That kid's going to grow up healthy and happy, I think. Speaking to German newspaper Die Welt at the time about why she believed it was gender discrimination, said, "For me, and I teach this to my son, there is no difference. For both men and women, the breast is a secondary sexual characteristic, but men have the freedom to remove their clothes when it is hot and women do not." No, actually. Men's chests are not considered generally a secondary sexual characteristic. Excited to see Germany really...
Wait, he's making this up.
Yeah.
First off, I don't know if this guy's ever traveled outside of his house or if he's just lying, but topless beaches have been the norm in Europe forever. Yeah. Forever. I mean, not forever. I don't know. I mean, at least, look, I went traveling when I was like 20, and all the beaches in France that I went to were topless. I mean, it was sort of like not every single woman. You could see who the Americans were because they were the ones who were just not used to it. They were the more Puritans. But the idea that he's railing about toplessness in swimming situations, right? Like, and like, who gets to determine? What does that mean? Like, they're not. He's a bizarre dude.
There are topless beaches in America.
Yeah,
of course. But this was like there was no. It wasn't like in Europe. It's not like this is a topless beach or this is not.
Yeah.
It's like this is a beach. Some people go topless. It's he's literally got the mentality of a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, not even a 12-year-old boy, because then he might be excited by the nude beach. A 9-year-old boy who finds it scary.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I can see their nipples. Oh my God.
But you can see my nipples because my chest is in no way sexy. No woman has ever said that my chest is sexy. It is not a secondary sexual characteristic.
But that's not true. Like, greater muscle mass in males is a secondary sexual characteristic. And also, this is true of New York City as well, right? Isn't it the case that women can be topless anywhere men can be?
I think that's true.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
But that's because we're in liberal hell, New York.
I mean, and look at what's done here, all the crime because of it.
You know what, honestly,
why.
should be illicit? The color combination of his T-shirt and sport coat. That
beige.
That should
beige,
be,
just like my sexual preferences.
That should be illegal. Nobody should be exposed to that. But go ahead.
At the time about why she believed it was gender discrimination, said, "For me, and I teach this to my son, there is no difference. For both men and women, the breast is a secondary sexual characteristic, but men have the freedom to remove their clothes when it is hot and women do not." No, actually. men's chests are not considered generally a secondary sexual characteristic.
Generally do a lot of work.
Excited to see Germany really embracing full-on androgyny. Of course, that is not going to, it's not about androgyny. And teenage boys everywhere in Germany are very excited today. The patriarchy is, again, incredibly, incredibly clever. Great job, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, what is the complaint here?
Is it cool or not?
The complaint is that you're flattening the differences between sexual categories, that women's chests are sexual and men's are not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm pretty sure a woman just told Ben that.
It's
Make
not
him
a
feel
complaint. It's titillating content. Just he doesn't feel a single way about this.
better. Yes.
Of course.
Right.
Guys, here's the...
Actually,
listen, I wanted to remind everyone what the agenda is for today. Find any type of wokeism, anything that I can construe as being an assault on the patriarchy or on white supremacy or on fundamentalist values. I don't care what part of the world it's in. I don't care how much of a stretch. I want it on my desk before I start.
Yes, I mean, remember the Megan Thee Stallion days. We want something that makes our audience both horny and upset.
Yes.
Exactly.
Next up, AOC.
How do we not have a picture of the topless woman here? And we can just put it up in the corner and just put lawsuit.
How outrageous is this?
People love when we talk about the world going to hell in a very sexy way.
It is also just like we played that clip of a few weeks ago of Jordan Peterson talking about how he needs to categorize his social interactions between men and women, and if someone's non-binary,
What are the rules?
there are no first when I'm interacting with someone.
how to develop a stereotype about this person and make some pre-assumptions
Right.
as to how they should be addressing me based upon their status if I'm
No,
not
it's
aware
how
of what their
I'm
sex
addressing
is.
them, though. That was my
Well,
protocol.
no, but first, I need to know whether I should be offended if they talk to me as if we are equals. And
Yeah.
I can't determine that unless I am aware of what their gender is.
My point is that these
Lady.
conservative, weird fundamentalists are so like the people that are watching these right wingers. You have to understand that social interaction with someone that you're sexually interested in is not that hard. Like all of
I don't know what that means.
what they are creating is these boundaries between social connection. It makes it very antisocial to constantly categorize different body parts. I know he's reading from that excerpt, but it's the same impetus. And I promise you, right-wingers, if you come across this video and you like watch Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson, it's really not that hard to go up to a woman or someone that you're interested in. Just try to disengage from the pickup artist stuff, from the Daily Wire content, and bring yourself back to humanity.
Case in point. I can tell by the long hair you have that you are a female, and I know now that I can just simply dismiss what you said without having to actually have had listened to it. It makes things easier for me.
Yes, the
and
long hair,
it
right.
improves society because we don't spend a lot of time on things that we don't think are important. You see, that's what's happening. That's the value of it.
Yeah. It's a shorthand for you.
It's a shorthand for all of society that matters.
I go to a pool and I see a woman with her knockers out, and what are the rules? Like, can I go up there? Do I nurse? Do I insult her? Like, what? You don't know the answers to that, and who knows the
There's
answers?
no way to know.
It makes me emotional.
Am I doing something wrong by not trying to suckle? There's no way to know. I'm made to feel uncomfortable because I don't know how to interpret the fact that she doesn't want to wear a shirt when going swimming. There's no way for me to know. But it's very easy for her to come by and then say, oh, I'm offended now. I'm offended by what you did or did not do. I'm completely, I have no idea what to do.
It's an imposition on
I'm
you.
sitting here just enjoying my slab of roast beef.
And my Xanax.
Hold the cider, please.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Well,
But I hope Connor Friedersdorf does a piece in the Atlantic about how Middle America needs to take milking pornography seriously.
All right, final call of the day, 402. Someone just wrote, I love that Sam's Jordan Peterson voice is just his Hugo voice. It's not.
It's very different.
Or maybe it is. I can't even remember what the Hugo is. Hello, Bob. It's a little bit, it's a slightly different.
Yeah, it's more in controlled and curt, I think. Your
The Hugo,
voice.
yeah. The Jordan Peterson one rolls.
Languid.